Hello guys, welcome to another strategy video from ForexKits Academy. This time around we are going to talk about ADX and the perfect way to use ADX to be able to find trading opportunities on our charts and then get into trades and make money, right? So really all we have to do is you know how to add an indicator. So come here, click on F, okay, F, then look for ADX, average directional movement index, right? I'll click on that, okay, and then you have three options, right? You have the period, you have the style, you have the positive directional index, you have the negative, right? This is the colors that I like to choose, right? So you come here, select any of the colors that you want to change, to fit what you want. So for the negative here, I'd use red. So let me change that so you can see how it is. I'd use green for this, or maybe I'll just leave it at what it was, and then I use purple for this, and then I like to keep this at 3 pixels or higher, okay? So yeah, once you're done, click on done. Okay, so we'll go back to the chart, and then you'd observe that right here you have 3 lines being shown to you. Okay, this is an exact representation of what price is doing at this point in time. Okay, so really important. So the first thing we have to do, right, tap on your screen. Once you tap on your screen, you see this pop up, right? Click on this object button right here. I'll click on that. Click on horizontal line, all right, horizontal line, and then drag that. So let's do it again. I put it on the wrong chart. So click on that horizontal line and then bring it to this indicator window right here. Okay, so I come here and look for 25. Okay, so I have 25, and it doesn't matter. I can just, all I have to do is, even if I don't place it on 25, once you tap this area of the screen, the horizontal line will show here, right? So I can just click on the line for a long time. Once I do that, you now see that up here, you see that up here I have options, to either delete or edit that line. So I edit it. Okay, so edit. I now change this to 25. Okay, so done. All right. Also I'd have let me just show you, let me add another horizontal line, so I'll show you guys something, and then let's keep these at 50. All right. Done. So I've placed that at 15. All right, so what is ADX used for? So the ADX line is the purple line that you have here, right? ADX is basically used, to know the strength of a trend. Okay, so you remember, in foreign exchange, price either moves up or comes down. The other way that price can move is when price is stuck between two zones, right? A ranging market, and it's not breaking above or below that level, right? So as traders, we are looking for opportunities to trade when price is either moving up or going down, right? So that is it basically. This ADX, the work of ADX is to tell you the strength of a trend. How strong is this trend currently? Okay, so the whole idea is, if you have your ADX plotted, so this purple line here goes above 25, that means that is the beginning of a new trend. Okay, so we are in a new trend, and then the trend is starting to gain momentum, right? But if it goes to 50 and maybe plot over 50, that means that we are in a very strong trend. That means it might have been trending in one direction for a long time. So either price has been going up, for a very long time, or going down for a very long time. Okay, so right now you'd ask the question, now that I know if price is going to go up or going down, or how strong the trend is, because it's a non-directional indicator, so it's not telling us whether we should buy or sell. It's just telling us the strength of the current trend. How do we know if we are trending upwards or trending downwards? Okay, so of course we are going to talk about what will give you that knowledge is market structure, right? Highs and lows, right? And break of structure. All of those knowledge, right, will be provided in the premium class. But for now, this is just a video to give you guys something to look at. So if we go back, let's look at where the 50 MI was touched, right? Or price was really close to the 50 MI. So take a look at this. Look at how this is Euro USD chart, by the way, you can see up here. So look at how much price moved upwards, in one direction for a really long time, right? And then look at what happened. Price went above our 25 line right here. So this is 25, right? Price went above 25 and then was trending upwards, even though it fell to break above 50. But you can see how much price we need to have in one direction before price reaches 50 and even goes above 50. So that now extra confirms that once you have price go above 50, right, that means that we are in a very strong trend. Okay, I could look for one more. Typical example. So look at this, right? So in this particular scenario, we are over 50. Okay, you look at how price fell, right? Look at the impulse that we had when price was plummeting. So look at that. We had little buying pressure. Buying pressures are the ones you see in white. The candles that are appearing as white, right? Or maybe we are using a green and red display, the candles in green. Okay, so that's just the whole idea, right? So we are having a whole lot of selling pressure. Price is coming down. Sellers, when you're selling, it's coming down. When you're buying, it's going up. Okay, so there is a whole lot of pressure from the sellers, hence why price moved down for a really long time and then went above 50. So you can now see clearly that once we have price move above 50, it's a really strong trend. Once we have price move above 25, right, that means that we are going into a new trend, that might possibly last. So it's not telling you see how this is still going up whereas we are falling down. So it's a non-directional indicator. It's not telling you whether the trend is up or whether the trend is down. It's just there to tell you the strength of the trend. Okay, so how do we use this? That is where these two lines now come in. Okay, so I had a line the green line here and the red line. So the whole idea is if you have the green line, okay, cross the red line. So we'll have a red line, right? So let's say this line below here is your red line and the one here is your green line, okay, G. Once the green line crosses the red line, okay, that's a signal that we are in an uptrend, okay? And then the reverse is the case, right? So if we are in an uptrend, right? Once the green line and the red line intersect, and then the green line goes higher, G R, right? This means that we are in an uptrend, and in an uptrend, you're looking to do what? Place a buy trade. You already know how to place trades, right? So if we see a green signal or the green above the red, right? That's the red, is the negative directional index, so it's indicating negative pressure. This is for positive pressure. So buyers, this is basically standing for buyers, right? And then this red line is for sellers. So once you see the green over the red, it means that there is a whole lot of buying pressure. Prices in an uptrend, we are moving upwards, and of course, you're going to be looking for buying opportunities. And then the reverse is the case. Once we start noticing that we've had an intersection, right? And then the red line, is printed, sorry. So the red line is printed above the green line. So we've had an intersection and then the red line goes higher, right? So let me just clear that up. So the red line goes higher and then the green line comes below, right? That means that this is green, this is red. Okay, so once the red is above the green line, right, that means that we are in a downtrend. Okay, so if the red is above the green line, we are in a downtrend. If the green is above the red line, we are in an uptrend. Okay, so how does that apply? How do you now add that up with the ADX? All we have to do is wait for price. Oh, this has shifted, so I'll change that back to 25. Okay, 25, done. Right, so it's at 25. So once we have the ADX line, which is the purple line that we have here, crossover 25, okay, what we are now going to look for at that particular point is what the signal that we have. Are we in an uptrend or are we in a downtrend? Remember that these signals what the ADX line above 25 signals that we are in a strong trend. So now that we know that we are in a strong trend, all we need to do is where are we trending to? Are we trending upwards? If we are trending upwards, we buy. Are we trending downwards? If we are trending downwards, we sell. Okay, so it's that simple. So let's just look for I mistakenly hit that again. So touch the line and hold if you do the same mistake again, and then 25, done. Yeah, so I'll try my best not to go there again. So let's look for some opportunities that we would have taken, right? So at this particular point here, this is your 25 line. This is your 25 ADX line. So at this particular point, our ADX line is where? At this point, right, our ADX line has just crossed the 25 mark. And then we can see that the green line is plotted above the red line. So this is where we had the interaction. If you see closely, this is where the red and the green line intersected, and then the green line went ahead right after that. And then this is where it indicates that we are in a strong trend because we've crossed over 25. So at this particular point right here, you would have gotten into a buy trade, right? And then if you got into a buy trade at that point, you would have made all of this in profit. Okay, so all of this move that happened here would have been in profit for you. Imagine it even continued up onto somewhere here. Okay, so you can do your calculation how much you would have made from that move. Another example, and you can see how random this is. So first confirmation is the ADX crosses 25. So after the ADX has crossed 25, which we have at this point, right, we are now going to look for what is plotted over the other. So in this particular case, we have the green plotted over the red. Okay, so the red is below, the green is up there. This is where we had the intersection, right? So at this particular point, you can even drag this up here. You see that this is the point where we had, okay, right after we had the cross of the 25. So somewhere here is where we had the opportunity to get in. So we would have gotten into a buy trade at this point. Okay, so if we got into a buy trade at that, oh no, I mistakenly cleared that out. So I think I can get that again. Yeah, so this is it. Yeah, so this is it. So we got into a buy trade at this point because this is where we had the close above 25, and then the green is still plotted over the red, right? And if we got into a trade at that point, would have been able to make all of this in profit. Okay, all of that move that happened there. So if I zoom out, so all of that move that happened from that point down here would have been in profit from us for us. So this is 1762. We got in at somewhere here. So that's like 1698. Okay, so we can even round that up to 1700. So 1698 is just 2 pips away, right? So this means over 60 pips profit, 62 pips profit. Okay, just by using this confirmation alone. Okay, so let's look at another scenario, a sell scenario this time around. And then this is that part, you know, where the trend went on for a really long time. Okay, so price started moving downwards. Okay, so our business is not, you know, how price is moving at the point in time. Okay, so price started moving downwards, and at this particular point right here, we had a cross above 25, and then we can see that in this case the red is printed above the green. Okay, which is a signal that the bears are in control. We are selling, the market is selling off, so we should get into a sell trade. So right after we had the cross above 25, if I connect that, it's somewhere here, right, would have gotten into a sell trade at this particular point, and then would have made all of this in profit. Sorry, all of these other move, everything that happened right here would have been in profit for us. So if I can capture that, that would be all of this in profit, and that's way over 100 pips. Way over 100 pips. Okay, so typical example, right before that, you know, right before that happened, let's look closely. Right before that happened, we can see that we were moving upwards here on our chart. Okay, so without looking there, let's just use the confirmation that we would have had, you know, from the ADX. Okay, so clearly at this point, right, this is where we have the print of the ADX, right? So price was consolidating at this point, right? So we won't even want to trade that. And what I mean by consolidating is when you have, you know, price stuck between two zones. You won't understand more on that in the premium class. But for here, you look at this, you know, if you look at your ADX or on your chart, you see that we are having too many confusing signals at that point. So clear signal that we are consolidating. But then what happened, you are not to trade those conditions. You are basically trading trends, right? So at this point, right, we now have a cross above 25, okay? And then we can see clearly that what green is above the red. So green is up here, and this is where we had the last intersection, right? So what do we do at this particular point right here? Would have gotten into a buy trade right at this point at the bottom of the move, right? And then would have picked all of this in profit. So if I draw this 1.1801, 1.1801 and we got in at 1.1733, 1.11733. Okay, so 33 from 33 to 1.1800, that's about 67 pips profit. If I add this one, that will be 68 pips profit, I think. Okay, so I'm not really good with math. So clear example, you know, of how many moves you can catch with this. It's endless. Let's go on another chart and try to see. So I can just go on USDCAD, right? So first thing you need to do is make sure that you've, you know, put your 25 line right here. Okay, so let's look. This is just recent price data, right? So you do not understand how you would have made, you know, profit from this trade because you don't understand a whole lot about trading yet. But then with ADX, you know, with this confirmation, with this information that you have right now, you would have made profit from this trade. So all we need to do is first off, a cross above 25, right? We have that, and then the red is printed above the green, so that means that we're in a downtrend. We're looking for selling opportunities. So at the particular point, right here where we had the cross above 25, we would have gotten into a trade. So if I drag this up here to our chart, I think it's somewhere there. Remember, my lines are not straight, right? So we would have gotten into a sell trade there, taken profit somewhere here, right? With a lot of confirmations, maybe, due to the data that we had to the left here. But yeah, most of you will not understand why we take profit at that point. But then from somewhere here down here, 110.95, right? 110.95, and then 109.640, 109.640. Okay, so it's a sell-off. So 3 minus 4, right? So we'll have to borrow 1 here. Okay, regular math in school. So 13 minus 4, we have 9 there. 8 minus 2, 29. Okay, so yeah, these are the parts. So we borrow 1 down here, right? 10, we have 1. Okay, so 129 pips, and then this other part will fix itself because this is 0, so this is 0 will return here, 1 will return here. So that's 129 pips that would have made from that move, if I'm not wrong. I already told you guys I'm not good with math and all of that. So 129 pips would have made from that particular move. Okay, let's look for another opportunity with which we would have made money from the foreign exchange market using just the ADX. So I'll open my charts. Let's see. Yes, I'll delete this line that I have here. So first off, make sure that you have the 25 line plotted, right? And then let's look for an opportunity. So let's say somewhere here, right? Okay, so price has been making moves higher, right? And then let's look for an opportunity that would have been perfect. So across above the ADX at this point, above 25, the green is above the red. Okay, so if I drag that up, then that should have been somewhere that would have gotten into the trade and then made all of this in profit. Okay, typical example, I can look for another one. So at this point, right, we crossed 25 at this point. Okay, green is above the red, so the green line is plotted above the red line. This is where we had the intersection, right? And then the ADX line is above 25. So at this point, I would have gotten into a trade right here, would have made all of this in profit. Okay, and it's funny how random this is, yeah, so a downtrend at this point. So right here we had a cross above 25. Okay, and then it's red over what's the green. Okay, so if I at this exact point, I'm just trying my best, right? So let's say we got in there, would have made all of this move in profit. Okay, so from 129.35, okay, 129.35, remember we are selling off 129.35 to, let's say here, 128.27, 128.27, right? So if we are doing the calculation, take 110, 15 minus 7, that should be 8. 2 minus 2, that will now be 0, right? So dot and then 1, so 108 pips if I'm not wrong. Okay, so yeah, 2 minus 2 is 0, so I think 108 pips. You can do the calculation. You know how to calculate pips right now. There are tools that help us with doing those calculations, for free, but I don't want to go into all of that yet. Okay, so this is a clear example of how how crazy these strategies are. Simple, just get in there, make money and get out of the market. Okay, use these things, practice with your demo account. The fact that we are giving them to you for free does not mean that they are not working. You can see clearly how it works, right? So practice on your demo, trade on your real account, and then if you want to get information, the only problem with this indicator is that first off, it's a lagging indicator, so it takes time to print the information to you. So as price action traders, as people that understand a whole lot about the market, would have been able to get in at different places, right, and made profit from this particular market way before the ADX printed the data for you, on this chart. But then ADX would have to follow up with what price is doing to give you that information. But then as a trader, an experienced trader, you already know what to do. Those are the kinds of trainings, we give you in ForexKits Academy, to be able to spot these moves before they even happen, right? And then if you're interested in that, of course, you know what to do. But then feel free to use this strategy as much as you want, right? Feel free to experiment with them. Feel free to go through it, see how the market works, make profit, test them out, send us the results, ask questions, and then happy trading, guys, and enjoy profit.